Good morning, everybody. Thanks for joining us again this Wednesday. This is our second show. If you remember, we did it about 2 weeks ago, right before Veterans Day. I'm Sterling Grimes with Moorfield Real Estate.
And I'm Trevor Foote. Welcome.
Welcome. And we're very excited to be here today. We had a few topics that we wanted to talk about this morning. A couple of them, or the first one actually, is a carryover from when we were here 2 weeks ago. We were here Wednesday, and that Friday was Veterans Day, and it reminded me that we did not talk about something that has been really important to our office and Trevor and Tony Foote, and that is helping a hero. So this is a new program that Trevor and Tony are involved in, and it's truly helping find and build a custom home for a war veteran who has unfortunately been disabled due to their service. So I wanted to kind of back up from a few weeks ago and let her give us kind of an update on how that's going and what the program's all about.
Well, thanks, Sterling, because I don't think a lot of people know that it's going on. We're trying to get this veteran in the home by December 21st. And the organization is called Helping a Hero. And I'm going to read a little bit about what that is about. The Wounded Hero Home Program is our signature home building program for severely wounded heroes injured in the post 9/11 global war on terror. Helping a Hero homes are designed to maximize the veterans' independence. Homes for amputees and wheelchair-bound veterans include roll-in showers, roll-under sinks, an adapted toilet area, and other safety features. So that's a little bit about, what the goal is for Helping a Hero. The Barnhill Family Foundation is heavily involved in this program, and that's, I think, what brought them to Rocky Mount. And the home is in Belmont Lake Preserve. My husband, Tony Foote, with Foote and Moorfield Builders, took on the job. He was given the assignment in July of this year.
With a big goal.
With a big goal. They had a groundbreaking back in September, but the builder didn't work out, and so they came to Tony and I to see.
September of 22.
22.
Yeah.
Yes. So we kind of were, scrambling to make sure we could do this commitment. And I am so proud of Tony and his team. They have focused so hard to get this done. And we right now are painting. So December 21st should be the welcome home ceremony. And
tell him a little bit about the veteran.
The veteran is, now we did get to meet him at one of the functions, and it was a thrill. He is a fabulous, just positive person. So a little bit about him. In 2004, Marine Sergeant, hold on, didn't mean to do that. Marine Sergeant Jimmy King deployed to Iraq. While on patrol, their unit was hit by a roadside bomb, and he lost his left leg. After being transferred to Landstuhl and then to Walter Reed, he was in a coma for 3.5 weeks. He then started the long rehabilitation to learn to walk again. Although he still has many challenges with his prosthetic, he is committed to remaining active. He has participated in over a dozen marathons using a hand cycle and looks forward to having his adapted home built in Rocky Mount, where he will finally be able to have a fully wheelchair accessible home and restore much of his daily independence. He and his wife Beth have 3 children.
And you had the privilege of meeting him. Well, you've met him more than once now, but
yes,
meeting him at the home site here in Belmont and being able to walk through the home, and just how excited how excited they were, and what a humbling experience that was for you.
It truly was. And Beth, his wife, is unbelievable and positive, and their 3 children are wonderful. And they did also, with the help of her dad, who lives about 2 hours away in North Carolina, one of the reasons why they chose this area, he, because they're in Texas now, he helped them put quotes, Bible verses,
That's right.
special letters on the frame before the drywall came up. So we actually hand wrote things, meaningful things, each of the children's room, their room,
I hear about that more and more, people doing that when they build a custom home, that they have the opportunity to do that. And so it's just really special since it was this home and this
so
couple.
special, so very special.
So anyway, we'll continue to give you an update on that as it continues over the next month, hopefully. Just one more thing to be thankful for, and obviously it tied into Veterans Day. Something else Trevor and I talked about that we wanted to share with everyone was maybe some stats about Rocky Mount and our community that may be interesting or clever for you all to talk about around the Thanksgiving table tomorrow. And that was just, people love to talk about real estate and how it used to be and the heyday and the bad days and how we are today. So we thought about pulling really how was our area last year versus how are we doing this year. So January to Thanksgiving of 22, January to Thanksgiving of 23. And Trevor, you want to lead us in on some of those?
Okay, so can you guess, Sterling, how many homes sold to date in 2022, January to 2022 of November last year?
So I'll tell you, I know the answer here, but I'm just going to guess on what I thought it was before she gave it to me. I'm going to say 1,000 sold last year and 700 have sold this year. We're down significantly.
Well, last year, 861 homes were sold. This year, 731. And I feel like that's not too far. People think that the market's gotten so, soft. It really is only 130 homes different.
Which is about 15%. So, when you hear about, gosh, what's happening, and we talked about it last week with square footage, but what's happening in areas across the country, we are super grateful and fortunate. We've had a 15% decline, but that is nothing compared to what is happening out there. Oddly enough, we talked about, so we're both with Moorfield Real Estate. We are the largest firm in the community, so there is something, maybe that's a different aspect there, but our volumes are pretty much the exact same as they were last year, and in fact the gross dollar amount that's been sold by the team is higher than it was last year. So it's just kind of interesting how that relates. So then we started looking at
do you want to say 2020?
The average sales price. Oh yeah, that'd be fine.
So remember 2021 was, just after the COVID hit, and 2020 was right during, and real estate, we really didn't know what was going to happen, and it turned out that it was a huge boom. So in 2020, 892 homes sold from January to November, and then 1,004 in 2021. So that's a big number, and that was such a big boom that we were not expecting. That's kind of interesting.
So, but I think what is also really interesting about this is the average sales price. So you saw that we were about 15% decline from last year to this year, same time period, same 11 months. However, the average sales price is not the same story. So in 2022, what's the average sales price?
$255,000.
And what was it in 2020, or what is it in 2023?
$267,000.
So a 15% decline in the number, but a 5% increase in the in the total sales price. So if you remember last time, we talked about the low volume that was on the market and how that was really helping hold the prices. Well, actually, it's helped maintain and slightly increase the sales prices.
And a lot of people ask, well, how long will my house take to sell, Trevor? And the average sale days on market in 2022 were 21 days. And then 2023, drum roll, 49.
So over twice as many days.
So houses are sitting a little longer, but they're holding their values and increasing a little.
Yep. It just means so few people are putting theirs on the market that when they go on the market, you know, the buyer is attracted to that home, but they are having to work through, you know, what is the mortgage rate right now? Does this make sense? And
what will my payment be?
What will my payment be? In fact, I was telling Trevor, I had a listing appointment this week, and the question came up from this seller, and it made me think of our show. Is this really a good time to list my home? Well, obviously, the best answer is if it's right for you, it's right for us, and it's right for the market. And there really is no bad time. But for this particular seller, the home is vacant. So we talked about how so few homeowners that actually live in the home are able to put their home on the market this time of year. Would you agree?
I do.
Just because of the holidays and...
Yeah, and people don't want to have to, show the house. But if it's vacant, that's great.
That's perfect. Because usually after the holidays, people who are currently occupying the home start getting their home ready to go on the market. So it's really nice for this particular seller that she is obviously has the luxury of not living in the home anymore. So it can be one of the fewer ones on the market during this season because people are still looking. It's just that less are on the market before the new year. Wouldn't you agree?
True. Fewer to choose from.
Fewer to choose from. So one other thing that we wanted to leave you with, and I see our time is waning down, is a silly joke because we know that around the Thanksgiving table, sometimes there's a lot of politics. Not my favorite thing to hear about. Sometimes there's inappropriate jokes. But anyway, we were trying to think of a corny, probably real estate joke. So give it to us, Trevor.
Oh, boy. Why did the mortgage break up with the interest rate? It felt like the relationship was getting too complicated.
And we certainly hear that word complicated all the time. So, yes.
So if anyone has any questions, or we're happy for you to call in as you get used to the show, but you can always reach out to our office if you need anything. 252-442-8900 is on the screen. And if you have any ideas for the show that you'd want to talk about, we'll be glad to entertain any ideas.
But before we go, just a reminder, we are up in sales price in our market, slightly down in volume, but those that are selling are still selling. And overall, this was a really good takeaway, I thought, to feel proud and satisfied and thankful, very good word, and thankful for the community in which you live. So thank you for letting us share your home this morning, and we hope you have a happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.